Marvel supposedly has a multiple film contract with Tramell Tillman. They got him locked up for multiple films.
Yes, yeah. Apparently, he's got a multi-film deal. He's going to be playing an anti-mutant. Which now that I'm kind of putting this into context a little bit, right? I had some time to think about it. First of all, the streak of casting talented black up-and-coming or legendary actors and doing absolutely nothing with them, absolutely undefeated at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Undefeated. Do I think that Tramell Tillman will play a significant role? Well, I do think he'll be seen, right? Obviously, if it's a multi-picture deal. How significant it will be is going to depend on a lot of things. Before I talk about how it could be successful, I want to talk about how I felt about it in the first place, after thinking about it. Mm-hmm. First of all, you're going to make the leader of an anti-mutant movement a black dude. It's every bit of making the leader of MAGA a black dude. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's a misalignment there. And so now I'm questioning, okay, so what do you think the X-Men are? What do you think the X-Men are representative of? And so now, as I'm able to kind of recontextualize how they're setting this up, I don't think they intend to have the X-Men be them putting Tramell Tillman as the leader of the anti-mutant movement, Herzog or whatever his name is.
William Metzger.
Metzger is kind of the out to using the X-Men and what they've typically been used as, right? Getting to those nitty gritty human versus mutant hate stories. I think putting him as a governmental force allows them to hide behind, oh, well, this is a government entity.
Yeah.
Right. It kind of protects everybody from the actual hate of it. Right. We don't have to put it in the folks who have gone through the Shatari invading New York and Ultron and the Snap and all that other stuff, and then turn around and being racist towards mutants. We don't have to deal with that reality if we lay it all on ICE.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's ICE's fault that all this hatred is going along. It's kind of a dumbing down of the mutants' kind of intrinsic place in Marvel, which is to represent minority factions being oppressed by the dominant class.
Which removes the stakes by
a bit. I mean, it dumbs it down a lot.
Yeah. It
dumbs down the narrative to, oh, there's this big bad guy over here that hates mutants and they have to fight him over time. Not necessarily, no. The people we protect, they hate our existence. They hate that we're even here. Mm-hmm. The very fact that we are a higher link in the evolutionary chain scares the shit out of them. And the only way that they can deal with that is to try to eradicate us. That is the story of the mutants.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like now we doing Diet Mutant Saga.
Okay, I will say this. I should have never expected Marvel to have the balls to go there, because they were just never, the MCU was never going to have the balls to go there, right? They were never going to involve the MCU they were never going to involve like any kind of socio-political topic into the X-Men. That was never going to happen.
Who was never going to do that?
I'm sorry. I guess in that specific aspect of having the X-Men represent an entire socio-political
Are you saying the
class,
MCU was never going to do that?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what they are. That's what they represent.
Because I just have a hard time with the fact that you're going to have... So there's an anti-mutant faction out there. Mm-hmm. And the one who's going to take up that flag and run with it is the black dude?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, it's
insane.
So again, to protect everybody, the bystanders, the passive mutant racists, and the dude who's heading the charge, we have to put a force behind that hatred. That's not an individual. That's not the people that we've been watching in the MCU for all these years.
So there's multiple facets as to why this is a terrible decision. Because what I was going off of is, if they did have the balls to do so, that gives people a chance to really identify with the X-Men on a high stakes level, right? And that basically creates much more buy-in to the mutant saga that you're trying to create here.
Tramell's gonna kill it regardless. Bro plays a villain very
Tramell
well.
Tillman does that. Honestly, before you got into that, I was going to say the praises of Tramell Tillman playing a villain makes sense because he does an excellent job of that in Severance. But
I thought he was alright in Mission Impossible too. But I mean, what I was going to say in response to that was, you know who also played like one of the most legendary villains in television history? Anybody? Giancarlo Esposito.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like one of the most legendary villains we have ever seen on the screen.
Yep.
Gustavo Fring.
Yep.
How did that go?
As far as his relation to Marvel,
And I don't even think that had anything to do with I keep wanting to call him Gustavo every time I see his face. With Giancarlo. I don't even think it had anything to do with his acting. Because we all know what we get from Giancarlo Esposito when he's put in a good position. However, so again, I have the same reservations with him that I've had with a lot of these black actors that we brought in and what they've been given to do. I can't keep expecting like this wide berth and this breakout performance where, man, dog, y'all have had Angela Bassett, you have had Forrest Whitaker, you've had Lawrence Fishburne, you've had Sterling K. Brown. You know what I mean? And while some of those performances were admirable, all of those people are either dead or forgotten.
Yep.
So it is encouraging, though, that he has a multi-picture deal. So now we know he's not just going to die in Spider-Man. That's cool. At least we can hang on to that.
Yeah.
The nigga is going to be seen. He's not going to die. Quickly, at least.
Yeah.
But the two things that kind of have me side-eyeing it is, all right, y'all already don't do well with how to use black talent. And then, two, what does this mean for the mutants at large if you have a black man leading the anti-mutant hate force?
Any thoughts on the fact that they also race swapped him?
Well, I mean,
I guess you already kind of mentioned
that is what it is. They find nothing characters. Yeah. Like I see a track where he could be like the William Trask or the Stryker of William Stryker is who I was thinking of, not Bolivar Trask. That's way farther back. But he could be the William Stryker of the MCU. He could be the guy who, you know, starts up these programs, these initiatives to try to stamp out the mutants. Is that the type of plan they have set for him, though? There's reason to be skeptical about that.